Transcendental meditation has been lauded as a useful technique for reducing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. A leading researcher in this area is Dr. Robert Schneider, who is visiting from America, and he joins me now. Good morning, thanks for coming in.
Good morning to you, Melissa.
Explain this to us. What is this transcendental meditation?
Well, medical science is known for a long time about the brain-heart connection, that different kinds of mental stress can speed up the heart, raise blood pressure, increase heart disease. But this is a technique, and it has been shown by medical research to have a positive effect on the brain-heart connection, to lower blood pressure and have many other health beneficial effects.
How does it help reduce heart attacks and strokes?
Well, we did this long-term study funded by the US government just looking at that question. We took people with heart disease and followed them for more than 5 years, and it took us 10 years to do the whole study. People live longer, about 40% a lower risk of death, heart attack, and stroke.
Last week I had a patient came in who is being treated for heart disease. He has plaque in the arteries, he has high cholesterol, he has high blood pressure, and he is on medication. Now this is what I do as a cardiologist. I treat people and try to prevent them from getting worse, try to prevent them from having heart attacks, strokes, and I recommended Transcendental Meditation because now I will be treating the underlying problem. I believe in it so strongly that about a year ago, I started doing it myself. I recommend TM for myself, I recommend it for my patients, and I say it with the backup of all the studies, all the research, and with the American Heart Association saying this has been proven to reduce heart disease, stroke, and hypertension.
If you look at what it fundamentally does, Transcendental Meditation, this is a study done with subjects with high blood cholesterol. It's a 1-year study looking at people who practiced TM for that year. And it was associated with a significant reduction in total cholesterol by about 10%. That's 30 millimeters of cholesterol. Now, if you're on a medication for cholesterol, we hope you can get 30 millimeters lower in your blood cholesterol. But this happened through Transcendental Meditation alone. And this last image is probably, for me, the most important. This is an image looking at Transcendental Meditation effects on reducing mortality, heart disease, and stroke. By how much? By 47%. It was a long-term randomized trial in older African American patients with coronary disease. This kind of a stunning impact, unimaginable in the Transcendental Meditation group. And when you talk about all causes of death, and you can reduce them by that much, as well as non-fatal strokes and non-fatal heart attacks, these are spectacularly large impacts.
I'm a scientist. I'm a physician and a scientist. I've dedicated my life to good science. And this was just wall to wall, the most profound science, finally showing that there is a very strong connection between what happens in Transcendental Meditation specifically and a number of disorders that we all know, everything from depression to PTSD to ADD, and it just goes on and on. When you do something like Transcendental Meditation, we now have science. We have hardcore science with great tools, functional MRIs, PET scans, that allow us to be able to actually measure and see, visualize, observe, take pictures of what happens in the brain as you're going through transcendence. And so I decided to do it. It fit like a glove. And I haven't stopped, and it's been 1.5 years.
One of the things about TM that I've been particularly impressed with is the amount of quality research that's been done in that area. In fact, there are over 340 peer review articles. A lot of it is very impressive. One area that is particularly interesting is the cardiovascular area, where there has been a repeated reduction in blood pressure, a reduction in cardiac mortality, and mortality in general. And it has occurred to me that if a pharmaceutical company had a pill which was capable of doing all of these things, they had all these studies that showed how much help it could give, that pill would be a $1 billion blockbuster.
Since 2013, the American Heart Association put out a scientific statement that said Transcendental Meditation is the only proven form of meditation to reduce blood pressure. And as a doctor or as a clinician, Transcendental Meditation is the only thing that is prescribable for stress reduction. When you actually do TM, it affects the arteries, it affects the cortisol, the epinephrine. All of these things decrease. The heart slows down. The whole system just relaxes, not just while you're doing it, but throughout the day.